In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm Madison Kasper.
And I'm Daniel Lopez. Welcome back, Sharks. In this episode, we ask freshman Sharks their expectations coming into NSU. We learn why Roblox is so popular among college students, and we sit down with Dr. Bill Adams to learn more about the fund he started in honor of the late Mark Lindsay Duncan.
This semester, I have a new co-anchor, Daniel Lopez. Glad to have you on the anchor desk, Daniel.
I look forward to upholding the legacy that Mia Alvarado left behind, and I'm excited to work with you.
Every year, the freshman class attends convocation, where they receive their stole and pin that they will later graduate with. Our reporter, Liv Zolk, has the story.
2, 3.
Convocation is held before the beginning of the fall semester for incoming freshmen. Provost Ron Shinai believes this event influences a student's first impression of college.
Well, it's the culmination, and like I did that little funny thing, have you been here one time, 2 times, but all those other times you came here as visitors. You've committed to us, and we're now committed to you.
Convocation is a continued tradition that recognizes the incoming undergraduate class. It welcomes them into the Shark family to begin the academic year.
It helped me feel a little more comfortable about who is going to be teaching, who's in charge, everyone. And then the speech made me feel a lot more welcome. It helped me know the type of ambiance and the attitude that we're supposed to be going in with, as well as with the faculty.
Incoming freshmen learn more about NSU. Dean Wheeler views convocation as a way to solidify a freshman's entrance to NSU.
I think it shows what we do best. At NSU, we're a family, and so that's the biggest thing that a lot of students say when they're here, that they love how much everybody's so welcoming, nice. I think this shows that our commitment to that, and then being as our #1 core value, student-centered.
I'm looking forward to making new friends, new connections. I'm from Long Island, so this is a big difference for me. It's brand new. Just beginning to make connections, meet new people, and trying new things.
The freshman class received their stolen pin today that they will graduate with in 4 years. I'm Liv Zolk with Mako TV.
Up next, our reporter Olivia Nur asks freshman Sharks what their expectations are for their first semester at NSU.
Welcome back to campus. As the fall semester begins, I will be asking Sharks about their expectations for this semester. What are your expectations for this upcoming semester?
I'm expecting to make a lot of friends and really learn about my major and potential jobs and opportunities. And yeah, I'm just trying to have fun.
My expectations is to hopefully make a lot of friends and just learn college and just have fun.
My expectations are to make new friends and be more active around campus, and also to get good grades and,
I want to meet new people, enjoy the amount of money I spent here, and have a great time.
What are your expectations for this upcoming semester?
I expect to learn a lot, learn more about the medical field. I'm already certified in medical assistant, nursing assistant, and phlebotomy, so I hope to explore more in those fields and get more knowledge from that here.
To make new friends, enjoy the year, and just get good grades.
Not only do I want to come outside my shell, but I also want to experience new things like being more active on campus, learning maybe even new languages, because I've been really into that lately, and just making friends in general, having a good year with my studies.
We are wishing all Sharks an inspiring first semester. I'm Olivia Nur with Mako TV.
Here to talk about updates with Mako Radio is DJ Romi. Welcome, DJ Romi.
Thank you for having me, Madison. So I'm here to give you guys some radio updates. We do have our automation going live 24/7 on makomedia.nova.edu. You can also catch us DJing around campus at some of our events. And we will be back live on air from 6 to 9, Monday through Fridays, starting September 8th.
Do you have any important dates coming up?
Well, of course, we do have College Radio Day coming up on October 3rd, and you can stay tuned for more information.
Where can they find more information on that?
On our Instagram, at Mako Radio.
Thank you for your updates, DJ Romi.
Thank you for having me.
This semester, we are introducing a new segment, Donor Connect. Our host, Sarah Juman, Donor Relations Coordinator for University Advancement, sat down with Dr. Bill Adams, Music and Theater Program Director and Professor, to discuss the Mark Lindsay Duncan Legacy Endowment for the Arts.
Welcome to Donor Connect. I'm Sarah Juman, and joining me today is Dr. Bill J. Adams, Music and Theater Program Director and Professor in the Department of Communication, Media, and the Arts here at NSU. Dr. Adams played a key role in establishing the Mark Lindsay Duncan Legacy Endowment for the Arts, and I'm looking forward to learning more about his work and the impact of this meaningful initiative. Welcome, Professor Adams.
Hi there.
How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Excited to learn more about you.
Good.
What inspired you to establish the Mark Lindsay Duncan Endowment for the Arts?
Mark was a dear, dear friend of mine, and he unfortunately got cancer, and he was a young man. And so the idea was to do something to honor him, and since he was the first arts professor here at NSU, he brought the arts to Nova. We wanted to do something which would perpetually honor him and remember his name and the work that he did. And he was a big giver. He gave a lot.
What do you hope that will happen to the endowment in the future?
The future's all up in the air. So depending on how much money is in the fund, the more we can do with the money and the more that we can help the students or faculty or staff who also can take advantage of this. Mark was all about the connections, particularly connections to the professional industry. So we're also trying to figure out what that actually means. So as we move ourselves forward, the future's pretty bright. I don't know what it can be.
And what do you and the department do each year to support the endowment?
Each year currently we've been having one big donor event. And so this is the third one we just did this past year, and they've changed from in the iteration. So the very first one was really the most closest to his death. And so it was really packed, and we had the president come and the provost, and certainly his mother, Wanda, was there, and sister, and some of the alums really care about him a lot. So they came, and that was packed. And then the year after that, we did another event. The first year, it was attached to a play, The Mousetrap. The second year, it was attached to the Improv Jam, which a couple of his, again, students, the Zadaks, created their own improv company called This Is Improv.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Mark?
Well, he was on the committee that hired me, which is a big deal in academia. So I'm always grateful to him for making sure that I got this job and got to stay here for 18 years. And then he became chair at some point, and I was sort of his assistant chair. And so he was the idea guy, and I would try to deliver on because I'm the logistics guy. So, and then I became very close with him because he was in my office every day, all day. And his wife and couple of kids. So we all became pretty close over many years.
Well, this has been really great, and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your thoughts on the endowment. It's a really great initiative that you started here at NSU.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for asking these questions.
This has been Mako Media Donor Connect. I'm Sarah Juman. See you next time.
Thank you, Sarah. Joining me for our art segment is Jocelyn Saccucci. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Hi, Madison. Thank you for having me.
What's going on with arts here at NSU?
A new semester means big things for the arts at NSU. October 2nd marks the opening reception for Natalie Alfonso's guest art exhibition in UC Gallery 217. Alfonso is an award-winning artist who works with different mediums. The reception will begin at 5 p.m. This year, DCMA is adapting Rent, the musical by Jonathan Larson. The showings will be on October 3rd and 4th at 7:30 p.m. and October 5th at 2 p.m., all in the Black Box Theater. Over the summer, DCMA partnered with the NSU Art Museum in creating a new internship for NSU Art and Design students. I got the chance to go to the Art Museum and learn more about this opportunity.
Oh, there it is.
The NSU Art Museum has partnered with the university's Department of Communication, Media, and the Arts to create a new arts internship. This opportunity allows art and design students to bring VR technology to the museum.
This internship was a proposal at first of just bringing VR artwork here, and so then it evolved into a partnership between the university and us, and the first phase being exhibiting NSU student artwork at the museum, which is a great feat. I don't believe that's been done before, so that's a fantastic win in my book.
Over the summer, 3 interns have been creating artworks in virtual reality. The technology allows for a new way of interacting with art.
And we are creating content in VR, specifically like spaces that connect like all the pieces, the sculptures and the paintings that are on display right now, to add like an extra layer of interactivity with the museum. So we are, taking paintings that are there and taking inspiration from what's there to create new stuff there.
The internship has also given the students an inside look at how a museum operates.
I think I've learned a lot about the dynamics of, let's say, like an art museum. Like I feel like as an artist, you just get a lot of the perspective from creating art, and I feel like this internship and this museum goes more with the administration part.
Part of the internship involves interacting with visitors to the museum and showing off their own art in a gallery space.
I saw how like people were getting so excited, and not only because of the VR and like the medium that was used, but like people seeing other people's art and like connecting through that, and like they were all so happy. That's what I want to do. I want to ensure that people feel something when they see my art and see the things I do.
The art and design interns get to show off what they have learned in monthly events at the art museum. The museum hopes that the partnership will continue to grow and inspire more students to get involved.
I hope that more NSU students come to see the exhibitions and see what we are doing at the museum.
This internship was created in collaboration with NSU's DCMA. For more information on the Art Museum, you can visit www.nsuartmuseum.org. I'm Jocelyn Saccucci with Mako TV. For our Sharks in the Arts segment, our reporter Carrie Corson got to sit down with Raul Perez to learn more about his art and his experience with the internship.
Welcome to Sharks in the Arts. I'm Carrie Corson. Our guest today is artist Raul Perez. Thank you for talking with us today, Raul.
Thank you for having me.
I understand that you're currently working as an intern for the NSU Art Museum Fort Lauderdale. How are you enjoying that? Can you tell me a little bit about that role?
It's a bit overwhelming, pretty much, but it's great fun because I'm getting to do art at a museum, and it's pretty fun. And when your job is fun, it doesn't really feel like work.
Now you're working on a VR project. Can you explain to me what is VR? How is it different from AI?
Well, VR stands for virtual reality, and pretty much in the context of making art, at least, I put on the headset, a MetaQuest 3, and I kind of like shut out like the entire world around me. I usually work in a tiny office for the most part, or in the gallery space. But once I put on the headset, I'm like in my own little world. I can be like in a black void, just focusing, creating like a liminal space for me to work my art. Or I could go into augmented reality, where I can see the environment around me, but I have my virtual sculptures in front of me, pretty much. AI doesn't really have like a correlation.
No.
But yeah, I do everything myself.
Okay, interesting. So you kind of specialize in VR and AR, not related to AI, so that's good to know. There's so many trends happening now, so I appreciate you taking the time to explain that to us. Now, recently you also had your work was featured in the recent Cotia Gallery exhibition, Metamorphosis, and you had a piece that was recognized for the Mark of Distinction Award, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Could you tell me what was that piece about? What was the title? How did you create it? Things like that.
The title of the piece that won that recognition was called Sketchy Breaker, and pretty much it was just I took a GIF of a breakdancer that I found online, and I broke down that GIF into its individual frames. And then I I recreated all of those gesture drawings. And over the course of like 2 weeks, I developed those drawings into a full-on animation, full with like coloring and like shading. Again, this breakdancer doing this like dynamic like flare move. And then I took that GIF and I put it on top of a photograph that I took to kind of place like my own creation in like the reality through photography. And that piece came to life as well with Adobe Aero, where guests would scan a QR code with their phone, and once they pointed their phone at the painting, then the breakdancer would come to life on their phone as well. So I have like the physical installation of the piece that people could admire just by itself, but I had that added on augmented reality element to it that gave it a bit more life, a bit more staying power in people's mind. Because that was like a crowd favorite during the exhibit.
Do you have any other thoughts that you'd like to share with us?
Again, I'm happy that I'm here, and my previous major, I felt like another face in the crowd, but throughout, the Department of Media and Communication and the Arts, I felt like, I've been really able to express myself, get my name out there, and I don't really have to betray my ideals. Everything that I make is true to myself, and I believe that is like, true freedom that anyone should deserve to have.
Aw. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us today on Mako TV. Information about the virtual reality immersive art and other exhibitions is available at nsuartmuseum.org. This has been Sharks in the Arts. I'm Carrie Corson. Until next time, carry on.
Thank you, Carrie. Roblox is an online gaming platform released in 2006 that still maintains millions of players almost 20 years later. Much of its player base is made up of college students. Roblox is an online gaming platform released in 2006. Almost 20 years later, it has found lasting success with college students.
Roblox is fundamentally, it's a game engine, but it's also kind of like a social platform where you get to interact with other people and play a multitude of games made by individuals. So it's very independent, very user-centric, and very user-generated content oriented.
The game's accessibility makes it an easy hobby for adults and children alike.
It just helps disconnect your mind for a second from things that may be going on. It's not hard to play it. You can play obbies, you can play cooking games, you can play literally anything. So it's just an easy way to relax and have fun.
Games on Roblox are player submitted, so new titles are always coming out.
They keep developing new games and they create it for a better target audience in a sense. So I just think it's the fact that they keep developing new games, they keep adding new things for more people, and that creates a bigger target audience for this game.
Mauricio Fajaza founded the Magic Gaming Studio at Miami-Dade College. We spoke to him to find out more about how Roblox can be a creative outlet for college students.
I was just reading now that like a half the Gen Z generation is actually on Roblox. They have 300 million users a year. And they're beefing up, the tools that you have to create video games. And the sky is the limit. You can have any idea, and I think now you're able to, any creative idea, and you're able to create a video game in the platform.
For students that have been playing for years, Roblox is a reliable pastime.
Roblox, I'm so familiar with it. It's so ingrained in kind of my muscle memory and the way the game works and the physics. And I'm just like, this is something that I can get on and know exactly how to play almost every single game without a single second of thought or work. It's just easy.
As of 2025, Roblox has over 380 million monthly players. I'm Jocelyn Saccucci with Mako TV.
Thank you for all of your updates, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Madison.
Calle Ocho in Miami is an important landmark for Cuban culture. Our reporter, Jessica Rodriguez, has the story.
Every Friday on Calle Ocho, artists gather to sell art with Cuban motifs. Contemporary artist Pablo Alcia describes the experience as nostalgic.
Todos los viernes estamos aquí en la pequeña Habana mostrando lo que hacemos y también para apoyar a la cultura y el que quiera llevarse un recuerdo, un símbolo, también puede llevárselo a su casa.
Calle Ocho provides its visitors with an authentic look at Cuban culture. It shows parts of the culture through its vendors, musicians, and restaurants.
Well, because a lot of people come here to have a little bit of knowledge of the Cuban culture. That's why I'm actually here for. Also, I like to sell, but look how beautiful this setup. And this is the Cuban culture, so everybody comes here.
The street allows for other Latin people to learn about Cuban culture. Tourists visit the street to learn about the impact of Cubans in Miami.
Para mí es como un significado histórico en realidad, conocer cómo una sociedad como la cubana se instaló en un lugar y la hizo suya, se apropió y muestra cómo aportan a la cultura de un país.
Calle Ocho got its name in the late 1960s due to the growing Cuban population. I'm Jessica Rodriguez with Mako TV.
Next for our health update, my co-anchor Madison sits down with Dr. Aubrey Raja to discuss cancer in young adults.
Welcome to the Health Update. I'm Madison Kasper. With me is Dr. Aubrey Raja, Mako Media's Science and Health Advisor. Welcome, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison.
Our topic today is the rise in cancer diagnoses for young adults. Dr. Raja, as young adults, cancer isn't really part of our reality as much or in our minds. So what are studies showing about it?
So what studies are showing currently is that they're noticing that the incidence of cancer cancer is appearing in a younger and younger generation. So usually people always assume that you would get a cancer diagnosis perhaps when you're 50 and above or 60 and above, depending on the type of cancer. But what they're noticing is some cancers are beginning to show up in adults who are even in their 20s or perhaps 30s. So that seems like a little early to be noticing a disease like cancer.
What types of cancers are showing rises for younger adults?
So some of the cancers that are showing up at an earlier age are things like colorectal cancer, some breast cancer, some pancreatic cancer, and these things are being seen in a younger population.
What role does diet and lifestyle play in this?
So there is some research that is pointing out that maybe the way our food is being produced now has changed compared to maybe 30, 40 years ago. Maybe the type of jobs we're partaking in has also changed. We're maybe leading a little bit more of a sedentary lifestyle where we're sitting down more than being physically active. So maybe these are some issues, but research hasn't completely shown one versus the other, or that one is causing the problem with the rise in cancer at an earlier age.
How does cancer diagnosis affect someone's life?
If someone gets a diagnosis of cancer in their 20s, somewhere between 20s to 40s, that can be quite devastating because normally, as you pointed out up front, that is the age time when people aren't really thinking about health and disease conditions. That is when people are beginning to live their lives, they're embarking on their first job perhaps, they're maybe looking for a life partner, they're pretty much like setting up their life. And to get struck with a diagnosis like cancer can really be a game changer because there are many side effects that come with treatment of cancer. So in some cases, it may not necessarily be a bad thing to catch it early. In fact, it could help with therapeutics. You could treat it better if caught earlier. However, a lot of the therapeutics have a lot of side effects. People can undergo, it has an impact on things like childbearing, whether a man or woman. So, and in that age frame between 20s to 40s is when people are thinking about these kind of things.
What are some common treatments?
It varies with the type of cancer or sometimes even surgery to remove the tumor if it is a solid tumor and if it's in one location and it hasn't spread yet. So there are multiple therapeutics available for multiple cancers, but the biggest thing being diagnosing it early so that one can decide what treatment makes sense for that individual, because treatment has to be catered to the individual.
Any last thoughts?
Getting a diagnosis of cancer or finding out that maybe you have this indication, as devastating as that can be, one of the things to remember is not to panic. Of course, it is easier said than done coming from someone who probably isn't dealing with it. But what is important to remember is to go about it the right way. Speak to the right people, speak to the physician, get all the information. There is a plethora of information out there right now, but what I would tell every student or not is to obtain the information from the right person. Be aware of all that is out there. Talk to doctors, talk to the family, talk to friends and family, and then it becomes easier to handle this. It can be an issue, but in this day and age, we have a lot of information available. There are a lot of good therapeutics available as well. So the key would be to get informed from the right sources, go to the right places, gather the information, and then meet with it head on.
Thank you, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison.
This has been the Mako Media Health Update. I'm Madison Kasper. See you next time.
For our sports segment, we have our sports reporter Liv Zolk to give updates on NSU sports. Welcome, Liv.
Thank you, Daniel. Here with me is Maya Esparza from the NSU swim team, who is here to update us on NSU athletics. Welcome, Maya.
Hi, Liv. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, what are the expectations for athletics for this upcoming season?
So I would say we have about 3 expectations. The first one being championships. Last year we had a really successful year all across the board. This year we kind of just want to bring in more conference champions, more national champions, stuff like that stuff. And the next one would be probably classroom. Last year we had the highest departmental GPA the athletic team has ever seen, and we're going to try to see if we can go even higher this year. The final one would probably be community engagement. Last year we did really good doing stuff like pen pals, having the elementary schools meet the college students, and even stuff like toy drives, so trying to see if we can spread that more across the board. And this, as the fall season comes, our women's and men's soccer and our volleyball starts, and so next week we have the women and men's opener on Thursday and the volleyball opener on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Liv, and thank you, Maya. To end off our show, Sharkapalooza is an annual event at NSU for freshmen and upperclassmen to learn more about the campus and its organizations. Our reporter Isabella Perez was on the scene.
Sharkapalooza helps NSU students connect with on-campus organizations. Many communities are represented at this event.
My freshman year, I was walking around, seeing what the clubs are, and if I didn't see NSU Vera at Sharkapalooza, I wouldn't know that it was there. And like for workshops too, that would be helpful.
Sharkapalooza is a welcome home event hosting student organizations, free food, and engaging activities for those attending.
The main goal is just to make the new students, even the returning students, to come on campus and feel connected to the environment. A lot of people want to see a lot of clubs, so we make sure we put them out in the forefront for them just so they can get involved.
Students who participate can form connections with members. Sharkapalooza makes it so these connections can happen.
Sharkapalooza is important for students because it gives them an opportunity to just like kind of get to know the school, the campus, get to know the community, builds the community, so yeah.
NSU organizations host a wide variety of student interests. Events like Sharkapalooza boost these student-led organizations.
The message we would like to send is that NSU is a university that's for you. It has a space for everyone and anything you're interested in, so just go around and looking at the organizations and see what sparks your interest.
Sharkapalooza takes place at the beginning of every academic school year. I am Isabella Perez with Mako TV.
That is all for this episode of Mako TV. You can catch our solo release videos on our YouTube channel at Mako Television.
You can also follow us on Instagram at NSU_Mako TV. Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Go Sharks!